Aries, Aries, Mars, right? Mars and Aries, there we go. Choices, doing things, right? Dominion, right? Feeling powerful, wanting to exercise that power, right? For your own good and your own benefit. This is also talking about self-security, right? You want to feel secure in making your own decisions, right? Aries, feel secure in making your own decisions, okay? And this probably has something to do with communication and something to do with maybe a Gemini or a Virgo, or it might just have something to do with, confident in making your own decisions in terms of like the choices that you would like to make. Um, um, and putting it towards your everyday, your reality. What have you set in place? What are you actively involved in your life that you want to put energy into? Where's the reciprocity within a situation? You want the next thing that you do, or what you connect yourself to, or what you tie yourself to be to your benefit, right? And you want it to be pleasurable, and you want it to be something that you love and that you like doing. This is, cohesiveness as well. Is it, working for you, right? And this is also having some putting too much energy, focus, and thought into things that you can't control, right? It's like your mind is going to these far off places, right? It's almost like there's too much going on in your head as well, right? You need to kind of like clear your head, clear your mind, clear the air. The nines are also talking about going in and discovering something, through a process of, maybe some friction, right? With you and someone that might be a mentor, or with you and someone that you might look up to, that type of thing. um you know Anyway, let me continue and shuffle. I have a new deck that was gifted to me, Aries, and it's called the Mary L Tarot. Mary L Tarot. um Thank you, Ross. Anyways, let me go ahead and complete this shuffle. If I need to clarify any of the cards or the positions, or if you would like me to clarify any of the cards, you know, be frugal with those. Um, I'll do it with the Mariel Tarot, which is weird because I won't call it an official unboxing, but it kind of is that. I was going to use it solely, but I decided to go ahead and use this one because it was showing me Mars and Aries. Okay, and my decks usually show me which sign it is for when I'm asking. So this has to do with, showing compassion towards someone, showing compassion towards the past, or feeling transformative energy. And this is a 6 as well, so it really is talking about situations and experiences that you might be looking back on, with a warm heart. It's also talking about transformation, and it's also talking about, growth, productivity, and how you've gotten to where you are and where you've come from in the process, and what that process has shown you, right? And on a spiritual level, you know what I mean? What can you take from your understanding of what your process has shown you and apply it to your now, your everyday now? And that's kind of like what this card is talking about. It's Sun and Scorpio, so it might have something to do with the Mercury retrograde. When we go into Scorpio, you might be working with the Virgo around that time. You might even be working with the Scorpio, or you might be sharing some sort of experience or resource with someone that is going to be on a, more consistency, right? It's because this is a fixed card, so it's talking about consistency and being sort of like in the middle of a situation, right? This could also just be like forgiveness. This could be apologies. This could be, just a cleansing of the energy of that lover's energy of a relationship, or a communicative, who you might be communicating with. Right? Well, whoever this card represents for you, I feel like there's going to be an apology from this person or from you to this person, or there's going to be a mending of feelings towards this person or towards this intimate relationship that you might have with someone. Because it really is talking about, shared resources, but it's also talking about shared feelings, um, as well, Aries. You could be dealing with a Scorpio, right? And the ruling planet of Scorpio, the dispositing planet of Scorpio, is actually in Capricorn right now, which Aries, if you're first house Aries, right, Aries rising especially, then you are going to have Capricorn be your 10th house, and that's career. That's career building, right? That's economic goals, okay? That is the life that you build for yourself that you can enjoy, right, from the work and the effort that you have put in consistently. That's what that means. That's what that is. And the 10th house, Mars, your ruling planet, is exalted there, right? In the 10th house. Um, and Mars is also a dispositing planet of Scorpio, which this is Sun in Scorpio. And the Sun for you, Aries, is really significant. So wherever it is, that is where the energy and the focus will be. So if you have something going on at the end of October or, in November for the first 3 weeks, there might be some forgiving. There might be going back to something because this is a 6, right? And then, your 8th house. Scorpio is your 8th house, so that's transformation, that's shared resources, that's, earned income. Well, not necessarily, but, it's shared resources for you. And the 8th house is Scorpio, it's transformation. That's where Mercury retrograde will be happening. The Lover's card came up, that's Mercury. You know what I mean? And that is all the sixes are connected to the Lovers, okay? So that Mercury retrograde is going to be happening in Scorpio. So if there's anything business-wise or career-wise or anything that you feel like you're going to be doing then, that might even be a time that you're going to be a little bit more clairvoyant. You know what I mean? Because when the sun is there, that's kind of like communicative in terms of like Pluto being in Capricorn in your 10th house, communicating with Mercury being in your 8th house with the sun, right? And the eighth house is clairvoyancy, okay? And then the 10th house is talking about career. So something is going to make more sense for you around Scorpio season, okay? And you're going to be making some changes. There's going to be some transformative energy surrounding you. Sorry, you can't even see the card. I'm holding it up. And this might even have to do with children, or this could have to do with something being in its infancy, right? In its early stages, or this could be you looking back at something in its infancy and seeing how you've come, how where you've gotten now in terms of that. I'm getting like hugs and kisses, right? XOXO. Okay, you could be saying goodbye to the past as well, right? And you might be having some emotions saying goodbye to the past, right? Or making this change, right? This adjustment from your past, okay? Anyway, let me go ahead and split the deck. They were building outside, and I just cut the deck, and the death card came up, and I was just thinking about it. That's Pluto. That's Scorpio. I just said it. The Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. Pluto is exalted, or it's Pluto is exalted in Leo, but it's also a fellow ruling planet of Aries. Some astrological theorist or astrological um, practices would say, right? Or studies, okay? But you got the death card, and it's 13, which reduces to a 4, okay? So you can definitely resonate with this energy. I just did all that talk about Pluto, all that talk about Mars, you know what I mean? And the 4s are talking about security, and this is insecurity because of something that you cannot control, right? And it's just a naturally occurring evolution. It's a naturally stabilizing. This transformation is going to restabilize you. You know what I mean? It's going to give you a new sense of self, because this is a sense of self here, being Scorpio, being Pluto ruled, being Mars ruled as well. You know what I mean? You could be dealing with Leo as well, and that could just have to do with an institution, or it could deal with an authority, or it might just have to deal with, like you being your own authority. You know what I mean? And allowing yourself to act on the, you know, self-induced passions that you have, you know what I mean, or the self-identified passions that you have. You might share passions with someone else because this is shared resources. So it might be that you share a resource passionately with someone, but that is coming to a stage of, you know, degeneration or a breaking up of something, or something just naturally dying, naturally going into the next phase. You know, because everything, there's a time and a place for everything, and there's a season for everything. You know what I mean? And this is saying that, you know, everybody experiences endings for a good reason. And like I was saying, the dispositing planet of Scorpio, Pluto, is in Capricorn right now, which is talking about karma, karmic debts being paid off. You know, sometimes when you don't want to let go of something, you might be also letting go of the karmic debt that you were needing to pay. You know, this is also ancestral karma as well, right? So this is something that might need to just be, you need to just let happen. You know what I mean? And this is going to be to your benefit as well. You just can't see the other side of the situation. You are just faced with it now, so you are kind of like in fear of it, or maybe you feel powerful against it. Maybe you do feel the transformative energy. Maybe you are letting go. Maybe you are freeing yourself. Maybe you do want to cut something. Maybe these are wounds from the past that need healing through this ending or through this transformation. You know what I mean? Sometimes we have to let go of something in order to, you know, just kind of like remember who we are, right? And it's 13, so it is talking about self, and it is talking about creation, and it is talking about existence. It's your existence, right? How important your existence is in this life, and what you do in this life, and how important it is to you, right? How meaningful, right? It's meaningful living. Okay, and if you don't allow yourself to transform, right, Pluto is definitely significant to you because Pluto is life, it is death, and it is also, you know, the higher octane of Mars. So it would make sense that it would have a significant placement or standing in Aries. Okay, all right, so let me go ahead and lay the cards out because I just talked about that card for a long time. And your full moon is going to be coming up at the end of Libra season, getting closer to Scorpio season. Okay, so we just talked about the death card down there. I like the death card. You know, I have Pluto in my first house, which is so crazy because Pluto is, you know, it is very dominant in the first house, right? Because it's talking about self, and Mars is the self, and Pluto is the higher octane of that. But then the first house being Libra, that means that if Pluto is like is a co-ruler, some would say, of Aries energy or of that house, then it would kind of be like debilitated in Libra, but it is my first house. It's very interesting. Libra, so if you're a Libra rising bitch, or if you're a cross watcher who has Libra rising, or if you're an Aries with a Libra rising, don't be an Aries sun with a Libra rising, honey. Whoa. Anyway, or a Libra with an Aries rising. I've actually dated one who had a Scorpio moon, so that was fucking crazy. All right, let me go ahead and flip over your, and you might be dealing with a Scorpio Aries, right? A Scorpio person might be very significant to you, and they might be experiencing an ending. They might need you. They might need your support. You might need somebody's support, or someone might need your support. It's acknowledgement. It's an acknowledgement of what you need right now, of what you might be sensitive to, right? And it is this knowing, this understanding of the completion of something through a natural, ending. I just talked about the sun. I just talked about Leo. I just talked about Pluto being exalted in Leo and also being a co-ruler of Aries. And here it is. And this is a planet that is highly significant to you as well. This is interesting because the sun is here and then you have death. So some of you might experience or know someone that might be experiencing a death, and I said that someone might need your, you might need someone's support. Or, this could just have to do with, recreation, recreating who you are, right? Because the sun is talking about the self, and the death card is also talking about the self as well. The death card is power. The sun is also power, okay? So it could be an authority asserting power over you, or you feeling like an authority is asserting power over you, or you just feel the power from an authority, right? You're acknowledging that. The sun also has to do with vitality. This is a positive card. It has to do with how you express yourself, right? Openly, right? Because you are aware of who you are and what it is that you project that is going to be uplifting, that is going to be important in terms of your own growth and other people around you as well. This is you just soaking up positivity and optimism. This is kind of like definitely just trying to be being more authentic, right? So you're stepping into your authentic self. The sun is number 19, okay? That is 1 and 9, and that is going to be 10. So this is an opportunity, right? You realizing that you always have an opportunity to grow. You always have an opportunity to take advantage of a situation, right? Because you are here. You know what I mean? This is your life. Like I was saying, you're thinking about this being your one life and the things that you can accomplish, because the sun is talking, right? So in order for you to accomplish something else, something might have to end. And this could also be, talking, denoting to a death that someone might be experiencing, right? Okay, the 8 of Wands. Energy, news coming in fast, swiftness, changes, quick reactions, quick responses. This is also traveling, you know. Definitely be careful in your vehicles. Earlier too, I was thinking about a pet or something like that. It's funny because I was thinking about an accident with a pet or something like that um, earlier, and then a follower on Instagram and possibly YouTube posted something of her having to put her dog down, and that was interesting that I was picking that up. I don't know if she's an Aries. But this is Mercury and Sagittarius, and Mercury is opposing what's being brought into focus for you. Don't be overwhelmed by the changes and having to act quickly. This is kind of like also even the justification of actions, perhaps. It's an 8, so it's related to strength and power, right? It's opportunity as well. It's messages coming in. There's a lot of communication. There might be something that comes up abruptly that might bring you into true understanding and focus of what is going to happen in terms of this transformation, this death, this ending. And that might be the authoritative energy that gives you the impetus, it gives you the initiative, it gives you the power to make this change, whatever this change is that you want to make. Okay. Sagittarius is also talking about philosophies and understandings of things that are bigger than you, that might take a little bit more research, a little bit more effort to be able to understand. This could also just be someone telling you what to do. You know what I mean? Somebody trying to tell you what to do, and you just trying to stay true to you. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm gonna leave that one alone. But the challenge is about travel or movement. A goal, right? Maybe the challenge is that you are aware that you might be trying to do too many things at one time. You know what I mean? And you might need to focus your energy or pull the energy in so that you can focus it, because the sun is talking about focus as well. All right, in your sun position, the 9 of Swords came up again, so there is energy and focus being brought into, and the sun being here is talking about that card as well. It's a 9, so it's related to your emotional process and your emotional evolution and your feelings, right? And then it's talking about how your feelings might be plaguing your mind as well, right? You're going inward. You're trying to discover some things that are going to temper these thoughts, that are going to make you're trying to get somewhere, right? It's almost like, it's interesting because this 8 of Wands is Mercury in Sagittarius, so it's a Sagittarian card. It's almost, you're almost getting there. You know what I mean? You can see yourself almost getting to the place that you want to be in. You know what I mean? Breaking free of something, definitely mentally breaking free of something. Okay, and this 9 being here is related to Virgo energy and Sag, so it's mutable. You could be dealing with a Virgo, or you could be dealing with any sign that is moon oriented, right? It could be a Cancer, or it could be a Pisces, and you could be dealing with someone's emotions, right? Um, and this 9 is nearing completion. You know what I mean? So whatever it is that you're worrying about, that might be nearing a stage of nearing the stage of completion, right? So it's sort of like hinting at that, and this is completion in a sense. You know what I mean? The sun is also. So there's something, yeah. The 9 is saying that you're going to discover some things, right, that are going to help you break free of this energy, right, that you are creating in your own head. You might be just like going, your thoughts are getting out of control, right? And out of control, that they're kind of like getting the best of you, right? Or they're preventing you from feeling um, capable, right? Because the ninth house talks about capabilities, where you can go, you know what I mean, and what you can do, right? So you might just be feeling these conflicts about your capabilities, where you can go and what you can do. That might be worrying you, right? Because I said there's a lot of things going on. This is where you can go and what you can do, and this is your mind too, right? It's related to the mind, to Mercury being an 8. If you're thinking about the tree of life, if I'm not incorrect, you know. And there's something, you're like bringing in these downloads. There's something that you're getting these messages, right? Because the swords do talk about inspiration, right? It also talks about communication and email. So there could be some going back and forth on email with somebody, or social media, that type of thing, you know. And it could be worrying about like the way that somewhere, okay, go. You feel like there's going to be, a lot of maybe a lot of mental conflict, a lot of communicative misunderstandings. Because Mars and Gemini could also talk about misunderstandings that bring, maybe arguments, or just kind of like communication, right? That is like unsavory. And it's Gemini energy, so that's Mercury ruled, right? And then you got Mercury and Sag here. And I was talking about the Mercury retrograde that's going to be happening in your 8th house, that is Scorpio, which is representative of the Death card. Let's look at your moon position. These are the hidden things. Okay, it's work. There's something going on with work as well, right? Building, right? Is the work being appreciated? Are the efforts being appreciated? Do you even understand what it is that you're doing, right? Meaning working. What is it for? This is contributions, right? Okay, hidden contributions. Someone could be communicating the hidden contributions that they've made, and that could be the communications that's going on, right? With Scorpio, with Virgo, right? With Leo or Aries, or even a Pisces or Sag, right? Maybe a Libra, Taurus, or Cancer. I'm sorry, I'm naming so many. But these cards are saying Sag, Gemini, Leo, okay, Scorpio, Capricorn, right? Basically. And with this 9 being here, that's Virgo energy. With this 3 being here, that's Gemini energy again. And that's communication. So you could be going over some... The 3s are talking about many things happening, right? Being able to do more of something, or being able to it's like farming something. It's feeding something. It's nurturing something. So it's kind of like you giving parts of yourself to a process to make it better, to make it more attractive, also to make it more enticing, and just to make it, pleasing for other people, right? To appreciate. Sorry, I just got a message from someone, and it was something that I've been feeling like I was going to get, or I needed to reach out. But it's great. It's talking about work. Anyway, Three of Pentacles, Mars and Capricorn. It's taking that energy of your ruling planet and putting it into an environment, a place, an atmosphere where it can be used at its optimum level, right? So, being in the moon position, this is what's hidden. It's what's being hidden is what you really want to be doing, right? What you really want to be building, what you really want to be funneling your efforts into, because this is talking about funneling things into something, right? Because when you think about the Three and the Empress, that's a pregnancy, right? That's something in a period of growth. So this is a growth period that's happening, financially in your career, right? Because Capricorn does talk about that career, okay, and how you are governing, planning, processing, yeah, getting things in order. This is adding value to something, being helpful. Like I was saying, when the Empress is pregnant, and what she consumes, how when she nurtures herself, she also nurtures that thing that she is creating. You see what I mean? And it's nurturing her because it's that reciprocity. It's that nonverbal, right? So it's kind of like there's some things, there's some efforts, there's some applications that may not be being appreciated, right? That have been provided to a process, to a project, and it's sort of like probably been nonverbal. So someone is communicating what they have provided to it, you know what I mean? Or, they may be thinking about, you might be thinking about what you have provided to something. Anyway, I feel like you guys are there. But the Three of Pentacles is a good card. It's saying that, you're a hard worker, right? You feel like you do your job well, and you feel like you deserve some reciprocity for that. And the moon position definitely feels like it deserves something because it is providing, things that make whatever it is considering better. Okay, it elevates it. This is talking about elevating something secretly, right? Or your hidden feelings are that you want to elevate yourself. This could even been some studying, because Capricorn talks about learning and studying, right? Lessons. Okay, this is doing the work. This could even be like a program that you want to put yourself in, a certification, or it could just be like, a school or a learning situation. You're trying to be, enhance your skills, right? Or what you might know about your career, what you do. This could even be a woman appreciating your work, right? And telling you that. Yep. It could be working with children as well. Some of you. Okay, let's look in the past. In the past, you have the Star card, which is talking about emotional cleansing, so that you can see who you are. You have the Sun here, and you have the Star card, so that's opposition. So you might be experiencing some opposition here, and this is the past, or like, what am I saying? Recent past, right? It's 17. It's an 8, so it's related to this Mercury and Sagittarius card here, being an 8 of Wands. Okay. And this is you just trying to see where you fit into your scenario, where you fit into your life, right? Having the courage to ask yourself those questions so that you can come to an understanding of who you are, right? And that's going to actually help you be more motivated. You know what I mean? Here's the star card, right? So this is sort of almost like it's not it's the psychological process. It's the ups and downs that you go through in terms of, like, you know, your mental health, right? So the star card is talking about mental health, and it's talking about knowing something. So you may know something, and you're struggling with it because it might be affecting your mental health, or maybe there was something that was affecting your mental health in the past, and now you have come to this place of understanding what work it's going to have to take, or what initiations it's going to have to take, or what type of governing of oneself and what you need, right? And being able to provide yourself with what you need, okay? um, by cleansing yourself of energies that you feel like may have brought you away from your purpose, right? um, the star card is, talking about the chakras and the seven rays and balancing things out. You know what I mean? Because the star card is number 17, and that's an 8. Sometimes in some decks, the 8 is the Justice card, which is Libra, which is talking about balance. But the Justice card is number 11, and the Star card is Aquarius, and that's the 11th house. So it is talking about balance. It's talking about emotional balance, psychological balance, spiritual balance. You might even need to go on a retreat. Maybe you thought about going on a retreat in the past, or maybe you went on a retreat on your own. And it's talking about escaping and going into a place, into an environment that is going to feed your nature, feed your spirituality. It's talking about being in nature, right? Pulling in that information from from a higher authority, from a higher power, right? The star card is also talking about wishes, right? There were things that you wished for in the past. There were things that you were hopeful for in the past, right? And maybe those things didn't happen in the sequencing that you wanted them to, but you are still hopeful that they will happen in the future, right? I feel like that's what we're also thinking about too. So this is like identifying with yourself, right? Understanding yourself all over again so that you can move forward, right? Because we all have to clear out the things from our past that have affected us and have made us feel like stuck, perhaps. So this could be feeling spiritually stuck or mentally stuck in a place. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like you got to process, you got to go through that, understand that, that there are positives and negatives, right? To every situation. There are two sides to situations. Everybody has their own experience. Everybody has their own reality. Everyone's experience is valid, you know what I mean, to their own personal growth, right? And I feel like you're seeing that all of the challenges that you may have faced, or whatever it is that you might be feeling like afraid of, like, it's like you definitely are afraid of something. You're afraid of a change, or you're afraid of something coming to an end, because you have just put so much energy and effort and time into it, and you've nurtured it, and this is just something that you've probably been doing. Yeah. Anyway, you in your anxieties, you have Mars in Pisces, and this is the planet of initiation, of energy, of fire, of passion, in the sign of Pisces, being compassionate, being emotionally driven. So your emotions are driven by your anxiety, and vice versa, right? You could even be daydreaming, or you could be feeling like your feelings. It's like you're being victimized by your own feelings, perhaps, right? And that's why it's in your anxieties, right? Because you may not be getting what you want out of something that you might be committed to career wise, because the 10th house is Capricorn, right? And that's talking about economy, it's talking about money. The tens are also talking about travel. So there could be some anxiety surrounded by travel in terms of love, right? Um, this is also insecurities, some insecurities that you might be having, some self insecurities, right? Identifying with those insecurities and how they might be affecting your ability to progress within your relationship. I mean, oh, I didn't even say that. I meant to say within your career. But you know, it sometimes your career can affect your relationship, and that's bringing anxieties, right? Okay. And it could just be like, you know, what you want, what you are wishing for, what you feel like you deserve from your career and what you've done and what you put into it. And it's kind of like when you don't get those things, it affects you emotionally, it affects your mental self, you know, your psychological process, and then, you know, all of those things. And we're in Libra season, so we're talking about how we relate to everything. And the star card in Aquarius does talk about how everything is connected, right? This is showing you how everything is connected. This is nature, this is man, this is earth, this is sky, right? Everything is connected. And, you know, our relationships are definitely influenced by our career and also by our emotional process that we ourselves are going through, you know, because this is talking about the growth of a feeling that you are having personally, right? And this is talking about being very aware and feeling maybe even overwhelmed by this feeling. This could also just be you, you know, loving, you know, loving your partner, loving yourself. And this is also saying, like, if it's in the anxieties position, so what you might want to do, because Mars wants to do, what you might want to do may seem selfish to some, but you feel like it's personal growth for you. You know what I mean? And for your relationship too, you feel like it's going to benefit that as well. You know, because like I said, everything is connected. Let's look at your Mars position and see what's going on with your, okay, Knight of Cups. This is also related to the Ten of Cups here. This is Pisces. You know, Knight of Cups, mutable energy. So your feelings changing or wanting to act on the feelings, right? Changing, or the shifts, right? Um, you know, this is wanting to bring more focus and more intention towards, you know, your love life, perhaps. This is like in being intimidated by a feeling as well. You know, the Knight of Cups is saying, you know, this is someone, you know, acting out of emotion, right? The Knights definitely are all fire, and that's action, and this is action out of emotions, right? Somebody may have had an emotional outburst, or somebody might have acted in a way that seemed like it was coming from, you know, their emotions, right? Rather than logic, you know what I mean? Because the Knight of Cups is Pisces energy, and it's 1/3 of the sign that comes before it, so that's Aquarius. So maybe an Aquarius is significant to you, but the Aquarian self is going to be very, you know, is going to think logically and maturely, right? So also this could just be kind of like you having a very mature perspective right now, and you are allowing that mature perspective to be the vehicle, Knights, that are going to bring you into getting what it is that you want. Because the Mars, this position, wants something, and the Knight of Cups, being a Pisces, definitely yearns for the satisfaction, right? And it's kind of like your insatiable yearning for something that is going to bring you emotional satisfaction might have been what you were intimidated by, but your perspective is making you almost be more practical, right? Because your Mars is actually in Virgo right now, and that's a sign of practicality, and it's the 6th house, which is talking about health. So you're thinking about your health right now, all together, all around health, spiritual health, you know, physical health, and also emotional health, right? How fit are you? And how are you, because the Knights are definitely fit. That's why they have been elevated to this position that they are in. You know what I mean? So it's talking about elevations of love and trying to elevate a relationship, and you're trying to take the actions to elevate this relationship, or to elevate whatever it is that you feel like you want to elevate. Because Aquarius is talking about elevation, and Pisces is talking about elevation as well, but it's like emotional elevation, right? Okay, and you're trusting your emotions too, because the Knights usually can be trusted. You know what I mean? The Knight of Cups can definitely be trusted, and so can the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, and this is a situation too, right? I feel like how you're going to act is going to be, it's going to be in a loving way. You're going to be letting whatever it is that you are acting upon, right, the energy that you put into the action is going to be felt, and it's going to be felt in the way that you mean it to be felt, because you're doing it in a way where it can be understood that it's not that it's not meant to be intimidating, and it's not meant to incite an emotional misunderstanding, and it's not meant to make someone feel, triggered, right? You yourself could be emotionally triggered, or somebody else might be emotionally triggered, and one person is trying to not make that be so, but then it might just be that, So let's look at the Venus position. Queen of Rods. Ooh, Queen of Rods in the Venus position. So, some of you, if you're thinking about a relationship, some of you out there, you might be having a significant Leo or Aries, right? This could also be you, okay? Putting more intention and focus into a relationship that might need this nurturing, or might need this injection of energy or passion, right? Because the Queen of Rods is very passion. So you might be experiencing passion in your relationship, okay? And you just also might be, Venus is also talking about money and business. So you could be just thinking about your career and your business, of course, and you might want to give something, back. You might want to put something back into yourself, you know what I mean? Acknowledge something that you've been doing, because the Queen of Rods is definitely talking about attentive energy and being attended to. So you might be being tended to in your relationship. And you might just be more serious about your relationship now, and that's why you might be wanting to make these changes in terms of like where you might be traveling. Are we back? Okay, I see you, Karen. We're back, I think. Okay, so let me continue reading these cards, because I have 3 more, and then the reading's gonna be over. Aries, finally. I got you. And maybe I'll clarify some if I need to, right? I said I would. So in your future, in your energy moving forward, yes, thinking about your self-cleansing, emotional cleansing, intuitiveness, right? And trusting, right? Because the aces are talking about trusting your emotions, right? Definitely trusting your emotions, okay? You are opening yourself up to the things that are going to fill you up, and that are going to make you feel good, because this is the acknowledgement of a feeling, okay? So, and it's a new beginning as well. So it could be a new beginning in terms of a relationship that you already are in, or this could be a new feeling that you might just have inside that's making you feel newly confident, right? This is also receiving, right? So you might be receiving some sort of abundance. This is the beginning stage of that, right? This is also a gift that's being handed to you by the universe, spirit, right? Definitely emotional cleansing. For sure. This could even be cheers, right? So you could be celebrating something, and there might be like champagne or like drinks or something like that. Okay. Also, let me go ahead and flip over the card that's in the future position for you. So there could be some sort of work that happens, some sort of work challenge, or this could be like you perhaps starting your own business or starting your own company, because it's a five, so it's talking about institutions, but this is also talking about competitive edge or competitive energy. So maybe you're trying to see how you can have a competitive edge within your business or within your institution. This is also talking about friendships. So some of you might be having some conflicts with some friends uh, in the future. This could also have to do with a commitment or marriage conflict within that. Um, this Five of Wands also might have to do with, like, you know, jealous natured staff or employees, right? Co-workers. It's a five, so it's definitely related to the fifth house of creativity, focus, right? You might be experiencing a creative block, or you might just be trying to find people to be a part of a project that you might be doing in the future, and there might be some conflicts finding people to sign on or finding people that are going to be available, because it's a five, so that's talking about availability as well, right? Being that the fifth house is Leo, and that Hierophant rules the number five, and that's talking about availability in terms of like being able to be a part of something or be able to be to make it to something, right? Someone may not be able to make it to something, you may not be able to make it to something, or you know, there just might be a conflict within a group of people that work with each other, you know what I mean? And there might just need to be like, maybe somebody else needs to be the person that is being the authority, right? Everybody can't be the authority I'm giving. You might let somebody else be the authority, or they might, you know, let you be the authority. There could also be some sort of like petty resentment, right? In the future, this Five of Wands is also talking about, you know, joints, maybe your bones, your limbs, that type of thing. There might need to be some sort of like repairing to, you know, just like therapy, you know, PT, physical therapy, right? Anyway, you might experience that in the future. Let's look at the top card. What's going on with this? Oh, this is the wish fulfillment card, and then you have the star card in the past position, which is all you're talking about that you want out that. This Five of Wands could be talking about getting out of, in the Ace of Cups here, the conflict, right? Stepping out of the conflict and understand that this was meant to teach you something, and this is understanding like where you're meant to spend your energy, your time, your effort, and you know, you're like, I am available for this and I am not available for that, right? So that's you being the authority in a group of people. In terms of yourself, you're not letting other people be, you know, the ones that determine what it is that you do. You are going to be the one that determines what it is that you do, you know what I mean? And you understand that starting your own thing, your own business perhaps, or like creating your own team, right? Your own company might be challenging, but you're willing to do that because you know the payoff is going to be great. You know what I mean? You know that the payoff is going to give you what it is that you want. You know, this could also talk about feeling overwhelmed by your wishes. This is Jupiter in Pisces, so this is a card that is like it rules this card, and this is a nine as well. So it's talking about travel and Sagittarius and opportunities, right? So you're going to take advantage of it, an opportunity that might come on suddenly, because Jupiter does tune us in terms of like escaping to something that it feels like it's going to be more ideal. So this is you getting something that you feel like is more ideal for you, right? Idyllic situations. And this is travel, and this is getting satisfaction from travel, right? It's also healing too. So if I was talking about an injury or something, not, you know, something being healed, right? Don't become over emotional, right? Something might be offered to you as well, because Jupiter gives, right, without merit. And you know, it might be like something that just kind of like pops up out of nowhere, and that's probably what this this is. Look, this Ace of Cups is in the outcome, right? Energy moving forward, and then the Wish card is at the top, which is what you're going into, right? So you're gonna get what it is that you've been hoping, been wishing for, been wanting. Let's pull one more card for you from my face, right? They're like not fairy looking cards. Knight of Swords. So this is communication, and this is you know um heated debates, discussions, being ready for a challenge. You know, this is also probably being intimidated by speaking publicly, right? Or you could be speaking out about something, right? Um, or you could just be igniting or initiating a conversation because it is Gemini. You know what I mean? And part of it might be Taurus. Okay. And this is sort of like just being intimidated by a conversation or being, you know, challenged by having to present some information, perhaps. Maybe you're trying to process what it is that you're going to lay out in word form, and that might be what you're intimidated by. It might be like an objective, right, that has to be written down for someone else to see, and that might be what you're intimidated by. But this is just kind of like ideas, right? You might be having a lot of ideas coming in, or you might have a change of idea, right? Because it does talk about adapting to a different idea or different ideas. You know, these are changes because the Knights are talking about situations that arise that bring changes. So this could be like some new information, right? Or something could be brought to your knowledge that shifts something, because the Knights do talk about shifts that happens as well. So there could be a shift within this challenge, or within whatever it is that you might be experiencing. Something's going to go in a new direction, especially with this Ace of Cups being here. And then you also have the Ten of Cups on the other side, which is talking about, you know, completion and a new beginning, but it's in the anxieties. So the anxiety and the emotional, you know, disorder that you might be experiencing is going to come to a completion, and on the other side of it is going to be a new beginning, and then you're also going to get what it is that you've been wanting this whole time. You know what I mean? All right, Aries, this is pretty good for you. We have a new moon coming up in your house of relationships, so this is a clearing out of feelings, and also, you know, how you may relate to many different things. You know, it's kind of like just you know, resetting. It's a recalibration for you in your seventh house. And then you're going to have a full moon in your first house of self, which is going to be talking about, you know, it's a culmination, it's completion, right? And this reading is talking about completion that's going to bring about a new beginning for you, that's going to make you feel renewed, okay? Whew. All right, Aries. I will see you guys later. Hopefully the video didn't freeze too much in that one spot. Um, Thank you. Like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram. I'm NYC Kendrick, personal account. And I'm Providence Tarot, of course. I will see you guys soon. I read at Shanti Bookshop and Crystal Gallery on East 14th Street between 2nd and 3rd Avenues on Sundays, as I probably said before, from 11 to 5, 6. I extend the hours sometimes if I need to. Usually I do, because in the earlier in the day, the later in my shift, that's when things start popping. Anyway, Aries, I love you guys. Bye.